Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Paint Party Livestream. It's so good to be with you here in the studio this evening yet again. I hope you have had a great week and that the new week is kicked off to a great start. This live stream is my Learn to Paint journey. Those of you that have been here before know how it works. It's very informal. Several years ago, I started teaching myself to paint, and so this is a continuation of that process. I meet with you every week here, Monday evenings in the studio. As I said, so good to be with you again this evening. This is episode 166 of the Paint Party Livestream. You can participate in the live stream wherever you're watching us, on whichever platform you find us, through the comments. Feel free to ask questions, to make comments. I really enjoy interacting with you during the live stream, so you can feel free to take advantage of that wherever you're watching. Let's dive right in. Over the last few weeks, we have been finishing some of the paintings that I have lying around the studio here. And generally, these are paintings that I had started using acrylic paint. And last year I started switching over to teach myself how to use oil paint. And so we're finishing some of these paintings in oil, and we're gonna do that again this evening. This is a painting that I had started in oil, and I really revised it last week, changed the vase and the flowers. So we're going to continue, try to see if we can salvage this painting this evening, and perhaps we will have time to get to another one. So if you were here last week, you saw some of the work on that painting, but we're going to continue that this evening. Let me switch over to this camera here while I get things set up on my easel so that you can see what I'm painting. We'll put some guard because I am likely to drop a brush or hit my clothing with a brush, so it is a little blurry. There we go. It auto focuses and there's nothing I can do about it. I can't turn that off. So all right, I'm gonna put up the reference photo that I've been working from. This is not what the painting looks like at all, but that's sort of where we started. So you can see a little bit of that there. Let me also put my palette here, the palette cam, so you can kind of see the colors or the approximate colors I'm mixing here. And I'll turn this camera around so we can get a visual of what I am working on. You can see that. All right. I will try to lower this a little bit. Put it as direct on as possible so you can see what I'm doing. All right, let's see here. Okay. I do have another painting lined up. If we get this one wrapped up the way I would like, then we can jump to another painting, but we will see. I honestly don't know if we can salvage this painting. I mean, it's nice enough, but I don't know if we're going to get it. Flowers have been kind of a challenge. Flowers and clouds have been a challenge for me as I've been learning, but I keep coming back to them because they often provide such beautiful subject matter. that I can do that without too much hassle, but it is a challenge. All right. Welcome, welcome, those of you that are popping in. So good to have you. It's great to have you joining. Welcome, welcome. If you've been here before, you know you can participate in the live stream wherever you are watching this. You can feel free to ask questions or make comments. I really enjoy interacting with you, so don't hesitate to do so as we go this evening. All right, let's see what we can jump into. I want to see if we can get this painting done. So here is where we are. Let's see what we can do to salvage this muddy, kind of murky mess. All right, let us see. I'm gonna put a little bit of red out here. And a little bit of yellow medium. Even though we don't have, that's probably way too much because we don't have a lot of yellow flowers here. Putting this backwards from the way it should go, probably. This is Cad Yellow Deep, which is really kind of a yellow orange. And then Cad Orange. All right, that'll give us some good colors to mix from. Hello everybody, glad to have you joining the live stream. I hope you had a good week, and I hope things are doing well. Your week is going well, the new week. Let us see what we can do with this one. This one. All right. I am not sure what we're going to do, but what I'd like to do is I would like to clear up. Last week I did the background. I kind of painted the background, but I'd really like to go in and clean up some of these edges because you can see where I changed some of the areas here, and it was blurry and murky because I was mixing paint basically. So let's go and see if we can get this greenish blue mixed. Not sure. I pulled it right away last time. That's pretty close. Pretty close to the color. go right into the side and there. We will do our kind of we'll try to paint right around these edges. The goal is to get plenty of paint so that it is, oh, that's really dark, so we need to lighten that a little bit. And we really want to pay attention to our, this is so yellow. I don't know why it went so yellow. There we go. Let's blue it because we don't want it too yellow. There. And I want to be able to cut in some of these lines and edges on these flowers to give it some we really want to, it's almost like carving a, I've said this before, but it's like carving a sculpture. There. Now we need to bring some white in and lighten it up a little bit. Hi there, Sharon. Thank you for always popping in and saying hello. I always appreciate it. It's so good to see you. Okay. Let's see how we want this. I really want to be intentional about how I draw in these lines and what is the shape of this flower. Hey there, my friend. So good to see you. Thanks for popping in. I know it's starting to get late in Brazil, and I am grateful to see you. I appreciate you saying hello. Hey, Michael, thanks. I'm trying to salvage it. We're trying to... This was a painting I did a long time ago that was really a hot mess. So I'm trying to see if I can reclaim it, so to speak. I'm just making a gradient here of color lighter as we go up. This flower, I think, to mimic more the more of the reference photo shape or composition. So I'm going to kind of draw some more as we go. There, you can see a little bit of what it's a little different on your end because you're looking kind of over my shoulder, but I think I want to do... Okay. Hi there, Miss Martin. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, that's so special. It's amazing how those little things can bring us joy and comfort. I hope it does to you, and brings you all the best memories of her. It's amazing how I started a few years ago stopping to buy flowers like at the grocery store. Just a little bunch, the generic flowers they kind of have there periodically. I'll buy those and just put them on my counter. I don't know. There's something like just for myself, just to make life prettier. And I love doing that periodically. Oh, this is not covering this orange the way I want it to. Let's see. That's all right. May have to do another but I want to get the feeling of it. Okay. This is now. I want to take some of this out. Probably gonna have to come back on this side like I did here this week. I'll have to let it dry a little bit, but we'll see. I think just carving kind of the shape I want really helps. It really helps to kind of make getting these edges correct, or not correct, but the way I want them, kind of really helps a lot. So I think that's a good thing. It kind of helps me, because then I'll go into these flowers and kind of clean things up. This is kind of the fun part of painting to me, is like deciding, okay, what do I want this, now that I have a bunch of color on a blob, what do I want this shape to be? Being able to come back in and carve into it is really kind of cool to me. Okay, now let's go. We want to go to, I'm going to take another, because I do not want any green on this side. So take some blue, direct in, cobalt blue will come right in here. Begin to see if we can I'm going to touch up this edge here on the edge of the canvas. It's hard to, in acrylic I was able to kind of blend these together. But in oil it's a little bit harder, because if you get anywhere over here, then it starts to, colors bleed in, and then we get, especially green and blue, you end up kind of getting a muddy color. But let's see if we can do something like that where it kind of It is a beautiful, I think I got this too yellow up in here now looking at it. But I think that's all right. It's not going to hurt anything. I probably should have put, I know I should have, oh, I wonder if I could do it. I should have put the red flowers over here and the orange flowers over here, because orange is opposite of the color wheel of blue. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I want to try to make that many changes, but maybe so. Let's kind of color this in and see. We'll have to see if I can rearrange that. Okay. Again, what I'm trying to do here is clean up the edges and cover some of this mix that was from last week. So that's kind of the objective. That's what I am attempting to do. Okay, let's see as we go. Can we get more? Let's see. Put a lot of paint down here. Let's see if we can shape this flower, because I don't really like the shape of it. Hey there, Ed. Muito obrigado. E boa noite. I hope you're having a good evening. Thank you for viewing my live stream. Okay. I don't know what I want this flower to be, but it's not this. I want to take a lot of this out. So we have to put pretty thick paint on to cover this. And like our current layer, we may have to come back, cut it. I think that is much better shape. There were so many problems with this painting last week that I fixed a bunch of them, but obviously not others, so I need to see what I can do. Hey there, Big Toad. Thanks for popping in. It's good to see you. I hope you had a great week. Thank you for always swinging in and saying hello. Hope life is treating you well, or treating you kind, as a wise poet once said. Okay, let's see. We'll mix this. I want to get in here and fix some of this. Cover up the actually like where this is going. I want to cover as much as I can. There was some green in here from last week that I want to cover, because I want this side definitely blue all the way down, and so try to do that. Bring in the blue. Take that green right out of there. I like that stark contrast. Now, I really like the shape of this flower up here. I want to bring more of this kind of down in. I want to give it that shape. organic shape so that it feels like more of these flowers are standing out three-dimensionally. I want to shape these leaves too, because what I feel is the leaves got a little too out of control. Hey there. I did not know the name of the flower, so thank you. And I don't know that I'm doing them justice at all in these in this painting. It's more kind of a suggestion of the type of flower they are, because I didn't stay very close to the reference photo. I tried and then it went off the rails, so but not sure about this flower out here, what I'm going to do with that, so we'll see. It's kind of a mess. They have some. Yeah, I think it can, the right artist. I saw an artist do some beautiful flowers. They weren't these, but very delicate, translucent kind of flowers that really, it was amazing what he created, but I was just in awe. I was like, yeah, I don't know how to do that. So I'm just trying to salvage this painting from the hot mess it was. It's been sitting on the floor of my studio for a couple of years because it was such a such of a mess, and so but honestly, I liked the background, the gradient of the background, and I wanted to see if I could salvage it, and so we'll see. Who knows? It's pretty difficult. I'm gonna have to come back in here and cover again, I think, because it's just not doing quite. This paint is not covering the way I would like it to. You can eat nasturtium flowers. People put them in salad. I've never eaten them, but I guess they are peppery. Oh, that's interesting. Very cool. Appreciate the kind of knowledge of, appreciate you sharing your knowledge of the flower. That's such an interesting fact. I would try it if I get or find them, just to see if I like them. I would definitely do it. I'm gonna have to I think I like it more, like the bringing some of this. I think I am going to try to create that the shape of these flowers a little more. If that makes sense. Even if it doesn't cover the way I want. I could do put the transparency in the vase, but I am not trying to copy the reference photo. So because the proportions are all off compared to the reference, my canvas is smaller and not as tall, so and so I'm using this round vase. I just painted that from my mind, but I have done paintings where I did I have a painting of some cherries in a glass vase, and I can paint. I am able to paint glass, but I'm not going to do it in this painting. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Let's see. And I'm just going now and kind of trying to carve out some of these shapes a little more to give the illusion of the type of flower they are. I think that will be helpful in selling the illusion, so to speak. Yes, edible. Hi, Anne. Thank you for joining. Edible nasturtiums have a peppery flavor. It's very important to note at a plant nursery, edible ones are found in the herbs section. Oh, very interesting. So if I decide I need to have my own, I need to look in the herbs section. That's so fascinating. See, this is one reason I enjoy doing these live streams, because I enjoy the conversation with y'all, but I learned something, and it's fun to kind of do my process in public, and for better or worse, it's visible and it's out there, and you guys see if it works. If it doesn't, you get to kind of check it all out and see what does and does not work. There are other nasturtiums that are not edible. Be sure to buy the edible kind. I grow them and learn the difference. Oh, this is good to know. Do they look, does the flower itself, the blossom, the bloom, look the same with the edible versus the inedible ones? I'm just kind of curious if there are visual differences. Yes, there are. Okay. Interesting. After I get off this live stream, I may have to go Google some, because I'm super curious now. I just want to kind of learn some. I want to see the differences. Okay. This is, I'm just kind of messing around to see what I'm going to have to put some stems and things to make this look right, but I kind of want to do some more. Just gonna kind of draw some shapes in here to kind of give us the illusion of in this big clump of color, I lost the delicate feel of these flowers, and so I want to reclaim that if I can a little bit. And so that's why I'm doing so much of this painting. What would you call this? Painting sculpture, I guess. Yeah, so. Okay, now let's give that a break a little bit, and I'm gonna step back away from, by cutting the blob out a little bit too, this looks and feels a little bit taller. Let me back up the camera, if you guys will pardon the jostle of the, so you can see kind of what it looks like if I look straight on. I will stick with lettuce. Yeah, me too, for the most part, Big Toad. I am a spinach mixed greens eater, so that's kind of my... so what's working right now, ignore the color. I think the color is blah. It was like me trying to paint wet on wet last week. But I like now it feels like it is almost a column. I'm getting more of the delicateness, if that's a word, of the flowers, which I think then I can come in and carve out individual flowers and minimize the number of flowers. Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, as opposed to like a big old blob. Now I need to decide if I am going to try to flip and do more of the red tones over here with the green, because that would be, they would correlate more on the color wheel, or if I am going to leave it like it is and just try to emphasize these flowers. So if anybody has a strong opinion one way or another, but I'm thinking I might try to turn these flowers into the orange because they're opposite blue on the color wheel and would look really nice, and then do more of the reds over here. I mean, they'll still mix a little bit, but and maybe turn this one yellow because it is next to the purple. I don't know. It's just some little color theory things. I know color theory doesn't have to be literal, but it might improve our outcomes. I don't know. We can try it and see what happens. And you know, if it doesn't work, we try again and we learn. So that's kind of the, pardon the jostly image. I have to move my tripod back in a place where I can show you what I'm working on, but also have room to work. A horticulturalist I spoke with at the plant nursery informed me about the nasturtiums. That's one thing I love about like local, you know, your local shops like that. You're gonna generally find good advice and information that you may not have, as opposed to, you know, just going into your local. You might find it at your local you know, big box Lowe's, Home Depot type, you know, flower department, because I'm sure there are people, but in a nursery you're gonna have a higher likelihood that you're gonna find the person with the right knowledge. So that's a great thought. Okay, now I think we should go ahead and try to change these a little bit. Let me see if I can first. I'm going to see if I can turn this yellow one. I want to see if I can turn that yellow, or if it's just going to be a mess, because yellow's so translucent. So I'll mix some yellow ochre and some cad yellow medium to try to give us a to cover this. Let's see. I want to be as precise with my lines as possible. I really appreciate all of you who have joined me tonight. It's so great to have friends old and new to hang out with while I learn and explore and experiment. Try different things and see what works and see what doesn't. And okay. The painting is looking good. Oh, that's so kind. I am hopeful that I can salvage this one. I wish I had pictures of how it started. I don't think I took, because it was just a junk. I was actually going to paint over this canvas because it was just laying in the bottom of my studio, on the floor of my studio. Now I need to figure out what kind of shape this flower is going to have. And okay, we have, so that's covered. I do like it better than the orange against the purple, so that was a good life choice, even just as it is. I think then what I want to do is I need to figure out kind of a, I think it's kind of a, might be able to even use a, I kind of tweaked my back today, y'all. And I'm realizing that every once in a while, and sitting, I have a good stool, but I don't, when I'm painting, I don't sit back against the backrest. I'm pretty active and moving, and I try to step back and such, so I'm like, oof, I have to be careful. I had hurt my back several months ago, last year, and I'd never had real back issues, and I started having severe back spasms one day to the point where I couldn't move without excruciating pain, and I don't ever really want to go back to that place. So try to be really proactive in my stretching and not over stressing my back muscles. But I was exercising today, and which is important to me, but I think I kind of messed some things up. Okay, these kind of have this just kind of making this up a little bit based on what I see. So I want to figure out I'm going to just put the beginning of suggestions of some stems and things, just so I can kind of see how it works when it comes to, there's one there, there's got to be one. I think I do like this, again, with very few things, or very few kind of parts of the drawing we can indicate what kind of flowers these are. So let me see here. This will help us to also give the feeling of some of those see how just with that one brush stroke we start to get a sense of the, again, I use the word delicateness. I don't think that's a word, but the begin to carve out again what's really here. So this is actually making me kind of happy. Last week I was not so happy with this painting. I still think it has a long way to go, but I wasn't really planning to reconstruct a lot of this, but I think it calls for it, honestly. Hi, Bob G. I was thinking of you today, and thinking that it's about time we had a catch up, just because I think it's been at least a week or two. I'll have to reach out and plan that. Okay. Orange, red, orange, red, orange. I'm trying to kind of figure out what flowers I want where, But anywho, okay, so we have this yellow one down here. Not sure if we'll keep that yellow. We don't want all of these orange, but I don't think I want those 2 yellows, and definitely not 3 all together. So maybe an orange one there, red-ish. Not sure. I mean, we could do orange, orange, yellow, yellow, orange, orange. Make these like orange, this patch, or reddish, orange, red, orange, red, red, and then a yellow up there maybe to kind of balance the yellow down here, but put it back in the, let's put it back a ways. Okay, that works. Orange. Now, I want this. I want a red. Let's see if we can do a red. I'm just putting the main shapes in place, or trying to, as well as the colors, so that I have basically the red in place, the yellow in place, and the orange in place before I do any detail work. So essentially I'm doing another draft of the underpainting, if that makes sense. So I see this as kind of one flower, or kind of flowered bunch. So I'll kind of that'll give me so I have yellow, red. This is where we'll start getting, this could be a reddish orange, I think. Because it'll be kind of where the light is starting to break, and then over here will be definitely orange next to the blue. So not sure what to do about this one. If we, because it's right next to the yellow there. I don't know if we turn this a different color or just leave the yellow and this as well, these two. Not sure. But it is, I think, composition-wise looking better to me than 4. I think I want to do pretty bright. And I'm making this up because the flowers in this reference photo are all orange and yellow. It's just the light that makes them look different shades, but I am choosing kind of how to do this also because I want to push, like I said, the color theory. I want to give it that I'm assuming there are red, actual red versions of this flower. That would be bad. But it looks kind of orange anyway. That red is so bright. I'm using burnt umber as my base for my red, which is darker because the cad red is so sharp and so bright. But I love it because it definitely stands out for sure. I have a bouquet much like that on my piano in a dark red container, has more larger green leaves in it. Ah. That's the other thing too. I can come back and add more greenery as well. But that looks much darker on your screen than it actually is, just because of the camera. So, but I'm trying to figure out how we're gonna do this. That's so weird. It makes it so dark on your screen, these dark spots, and they're just not. I don't know why it does that on this painting especially. Yeah, it just looks black almost, and that's not the reality. So, okay, well, I'm just gonna, I want to kind of, like I said, get these flowers in the right spots. So that's red. Now I want a, I'm trying to keep brushes that I'm using for each of these pretty separate because I want to, I kind of want to have those pure red, orange, yellow, pretty pure. So, oh, this is a filbert. Okay, now I want to do the orange. What can we do? A little darkening it a little bit. I want to really, I'm taking some burnt umber into that as well, reddening up the orange because I want it to be, definitely want orange, but I don't yet want it like fire bright. This will be bright enough. Again, this will help me see orange and blue, red and green, yellow and purple, and the right balance. It'll help me see if I have the right balance for sure. Orange. I think we'll put some orange highlights there, and the red, darker red. I like this. Having the yellow up here, yellow down here. I think this is okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I just don't want even. These will be basically orange, basically red, yellows. So that will be. So that will be good. I think I take this, Okay, now let's see how we can help this. I think it's actually the yellow. There's, when I look at this, in the middle of the orange flowers is a yellow center. So I think I want to at least put that suggestion in there. This will probably be an orange one. So do we, let's see. I want to start to give us some ideas of where the centers of these flowers are. And I'm going to make up something that I don't see but I don't know. On these red, I'm going to give them kind of a orangish center. We'll see. Someday I'll learn to paint flowers well. I won't have to do all these crazy shenanigans and multiple layers, but I started learning with acrylics and I got used to painting over layers very fast, and that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do because it developed some, I mean, it's what I knew, so I shouldn't be too critical, but it allowed me then to develop skills that don't necessarily work for don't really work for oil paints. I know there are a lot of people that do paint wet on wet that are really good at it, but I am not that person yet. So I kind of gotta keep working on it. I have to keep on working, keep on working. orangey yellow. Nope. Oh, oh, oh. Just bumped my brushes into the paint. I think it's sort of reading. Okay. I'm gonna breathe, step back, take a look. Yes, I think the next thing I want to do is I want to bring this flower, the center little yellow one, want to kind of bring it forward, and so in order to do that I'm going to take some yellow, see if I can carve more of that. What I need also is some green, because I see this kind of orangey blue, yellow. It kind of reflects what's around it. Or it absorbs. Need some more of that kind of. Don't know that that worked, but it's kind of. I start to see that. We'll see. I'm back to that spot where it's kind of just like wet on wet, and so I can't really do a whole lot. It's all a matter of values. My values aren't dialed in correctly quite, and so it doesn't read the way I would like it to, but that's part of the learning process. No? Yeah. Yes. So this is what I mean about the values aren't quite dialed in. This is a pretty dark purple I'm mixing down here. That is Well, slowly we're getting there. Think it's much better than it was, and it is very much more clear what the flower, the type of flower, sorry. My brain just kind of went offline for a minute. Okay, what is going to be my orange? I need the same intensity that I had. I have my burnt umber, not burnt umber. What was it? Burnt umber? I don't remember. Yeah, my burnt umber dries so fast, which I know that's just a quality of the paint, but man, I need to get some walnut oil, I think, or something to put a few drops in there and slow it down from drying. Or a slow dry medium. Because these other paints have kept pretty much all week, but not the burnt umber, not the burnt umber for sure. I'm just going to take a little bit. Put it in here because I'm not going to use a lot of it. And I don't want to just make it go dry again. Let's see if we can take some burnt umber into this orange. If that will give us the darkening shade, the darkened shade we need. I'm not sure. I'm just trying some things. Hi there. I hope you're doing well. Here at the end, not at the end, but end of this paint, I'm just trying to fix or adjust some of these value things. This orange, I think it's actually the red. If you would do struggle or my battle against flowers continues. The saga continues. I'm going to come back to this. Like, figure it out, but I don't know what the solution is. I think it's really doing a lot more study and just learning. I clearly don't know what I need to know to make this effective, so but it's not awful. And the changes we made, bringing in some of this negative space, I think really help. So I'm going to continue to work on it till I get it. Basically, I go on a painting till I get it to the point where I kind of reached the end of my current skill level, and then I am happy to call it good and move on. And typically I come back or look at it a year or more later and see my growth and where I could change, but I think it is important to let some things be. Part of it is also a lack of understanding of the structure of this particular flower, but that's a minimal component. All right, we have reached the end of our time, y'all, so I will back this up and let you take a look at where we are. I appreciate all of you who joined me, and especially those who stayed for a length of time. We will not work on this painting again. I will, but I will not subject you all to that. We will work on another one because we've done a few weeks on this, so I don't want to let's switch the camera here while I turn this around, and that way I can say goodnight to you all. I hope that you enjoyed this evening, And I hope you'll join me again next Monday night at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. As always, I am so grateful. We will be episode 167 of the live stream. 167. Hard to believe, but that is where we are. So, all right. I'll bring you back here. Let me show you where we have gotten this evening. Okay, this is where we are with this painting. I'm much happier with it. It actually looks like flowers as opposed to just a blob of color on top of a purple orb. I think it's much more clear, the type of flowers. So I will probably work on this a little bit more and then call it good. I'm not unhappy with it as it is. It looks okay, but I think I might be able to do a little bit better. Wishing your back feels better. Thank you so much, Anne. I appreciate that. I am going to take it easy, and it's just part of being middle-aged. Stuff starts breaking down. I remember when that started happening, and I thought, oh, it's not going to get better from here. And it's kind of a shock when your body starts not giving out on you, but behaving in ways it didn't used to. Used to have all the energy and all the flexibility I wanted, and so now I have to work for it. But I'm grateful to be healthy, so I will definitely take care of my back, not stress it or strain it. Yeah, I'll do some stretches. And anyway, but I appreciate all of you joining me. It's been such a pleasure. Again, you can join me here every Monday night at 6 p.m. on YouTube, simulcast to Twitch and I think LinkedIn and a few other places. Not many people in those environments are looking for this type of content, but wherever you find me, I'm glad to have you. I also write on creativity and productivity and all that I have learned and am learning about exploring new and developing new skills. This is a new skill. I also, within the last 4 years, painting, and this last year I took on a brand new skill, very new. I am teaching myself to play the pipe organ. So if you're interested in thought process, creativity, and kind of personal development, that kind of thing, that might be of interest. I am over on Substack at The Creative Edge on Substack. So I write there every week, and if that's of interest at all to you, you're welcome to join me there. But I'm grateful to have you here in studio, and I look forward to seeing you next time, Monday night here at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. I hope you have a great week, and until then, I will say good night, and have a great week. We'll see you then. Take care, everybody.